Greetings, this is Scholar Saunders Singh. What's current? It's Wild Child. Hold on. It's Wild Child. I've been saying this for the past, I don't know how long. I've echoed this from Mr. Troy Star Terrain. Sometimes prison life, not all the time, there's people that get shanked, get burned up, get sliced, get buck 50s on their faces, all of that. Terrible, horrible, terrible story. Some people get sexually assaulted, raped in prison. Some people get just beat up. You just get stomped. You get a hole stomped in your ass on the yard, or you get beat over the head with an equipment, a dumbbell, something like that. That's what happened to Jeffrey Dahmer. But otherwise, it could be very, not so bad. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how anyone is saying it. I just want to introduce that, but I want to say this is the day after Christmas. Because okay, so this is the second day of Christmas, the 26th. It is the day of the Christian martyr Saint Stephen, and there's 12 days in the Christian calendar, and goes all the way up to January 6th, which is the Little Christmas. I'll get back to what I was saying before, but I just wanted to let everybody know what time it was that we're on. They call it the baptism of Jesus. It's called the adoration of the Magi, or the Epiphany. The Epiphany. The baptism of Jesus, Three Kings Day, Denha, Little Christmas, Theophany, Timcat, and Reyes. So that's the final day of Christmas, the Epiphany. It comes about on January 6th, according to the Gregorian calendar. And that's my dad's birthday, and of course that's the storming of the Capitol and all kinds of messy American, folk, lore. It's not even folklore; it's actually lore. It's actually actual, that actually happened. So we have to look into this. But I want to get to a few more topics as well. I wanted to talk about R. Kelly and Tory Lanez meal. They enjoyed their meal, I'm sure, unless somebody ejaculated in their meal or put blood in it or spit in it, did something dastardly to it. They were eating high off the hog. They had a good meal. I'll give it a breakdown. For let me see. It has been revealed via TMZ that Tory Lanez, he dined upon pineapple glazed ham, carrot and pineapple salad, mashed potatoes, beef gravy, mixed vegetables, dinner roll, ice cream, and blueberry crisp. At the same time, around the same time, R. Kelly, he had Cornish hens, broccoli cream, cornbread dressing, mashed potatoes, gravy, sweet potatoes, glazed carrots, dinner rolls, and pecan pie at North Carolina's FCI Butner Medium. So he's at a medium security prison, I would imagine. Yeah, so sometimes it's better. Mr. True Star Train says, about Buck Wild, his half brother / son / associate for years, and friend, and liar, coward, and a nigger. Yeah. So sometimes it's better to be in prison. I said this all the time. I get this from Mr. Train as well. He says, in the summer it's cool. You got air conditioning. And in the winter it's nice and warm. You got central heat. You got different recreational games to play. You can explore different faiths. You can have all kinds of different ways of expressing yourself. But the thing that's still is a reckoning. Even with if they had gourmet meals, it's still something that still stings. Is that they don't have their freedom. They don't have liberty. They don't have freedom of action. That's what liberty is. It's the freedom to do and go about and plan and think and act on your own. A lot of people say, "Oh, they have my body, but they don't have my mind." That's about it. Because they have to eat their meal in a certain amount of time. After that, that's it. It's done. It's over. Get back to your cell or get back to the day room. Anybody know about that day room? Who knows about the day room? Um, it's just it's goofy. It's very goofy. Let me get some advertising in. Check out Pang's products from Livestrong Apparel. Tell them I sent you, Scholar Saunders, at livestronapparel.com and more. Livestronapparel.com. You get the raw, wild crafted sea moss. I've never tried it, but I'm waiting for his order. I asked him. He's a man of his word. I'm sure he definitely helped out my brand, so I'm focused on that. You want to look out for subscribe to Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube.com. He has a great selection of R&B, soul, neo soul, just a great collection of people. You'll love Peebo Bryson, Anita Baker, the Daz Band, Earth, Wind and Fire. Just a great crop of talent that you'll love. You can cozy up during this holiday season with your loved one, and maybe increase your family unit to these songs. Also, check out B Jackson, BEEJACKSON 5478, also on YouTube. Tell him that I sent you. He's cooking. He's got beer. He's got chicken going. I'm not mad at him. I'm glad he's doing his thing. So continue to support that. I have to do my self-preservation. This is self-preservation. This is self-promotion. I have my PayPal, paypal.me/Scholar Saunders. My Venmo is scholarized, and my Cash App is $SkylerSaunders1. All right, so we got to get back to this whole issue. Yeah, it's like you can do yoga, you can walk dogs. They have people come in from arts programs, MFA programs. They do poetry readings. They do dramatic, arts. They have different guitarists that come through. Just you wouldn't things that you really wouldn't. You think, damn, prison's hard, and you're right. It is. It's hard. It sucks. You don't have freedom. You don't have liberty. You can't do really what you want to do. You have to do what is told to you. I mean, I've been in a situation like that. I was in the Marine Corps, and they have to treat you like that. They treat you like you're a prisoner of war. You only get a certain amount of time to eat. You only get a certain amount of time to sleep. You only get a certain amount of time. You can do things. Everything has to be regimented. Everything has to be down to the last thing. So that's what prison really is. But they deviate. Like I said, they got full course meals, and I'm sure were pretty tasty. Seemingly, I mean, they probably tasted pretty good, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that they're not free. They're not free. Tory Lanez and R. Kelly. Tory Lanez has a 10-year, sentence, probably going to be reduced. R. Kelly has a 20-year sentence, I think it is, or at least 20, maybe 30. But that's probably going to be reduced, most likely. I mean, they keep their wits about them. I think R. Kelly was, roughed up a little bit in prison a while back. I'm trying to remember. But yeah. Some people live in prison. You get dental care, you get medical care, you got 3 hots and a cot. And look what happens on holidays. You get special treats. You get a full meal, a full like feast. That's what happens. So, I mean, I'm not saying go to jail. Don't commit a crime just to go to jail. That's ridiculous. That's horrific. I'm saying that some people do choose to do that. Some people, are, recidivists or people that do recidivism or go back to prison, frequently. They'll go in and they'll come back out and then come back right back in. And sometimes it's better for them. They get, they have a free equipment on the yard. They got their own exercise room. They can do emails. They do all kinds of stuff. And speaking of emails, R. Kelly has a suit against Tehachapi because it was alleged that he had private emails, that were sold to Tehachapi in 2019. This is what it reads from Billboard. Quote, he claims the Bureau of Prisons agent illegally accessed his digital prison records and sold them to Tasha in 2019. The blogger is named as defendant in the suit, with the R&B veterans legal team writing that she rallied her massive following to harass the plaintiff with the use of the stolen information and created chaos in plaintiff's personal life. So Tehachapi got to get it together because did she file for bankruptcy, y'all? I can't remember because she had the thing with what was it, Cardi B? She had what was it? Let me make sure I get it right. Let me see, Tasha, okay, Cardi B owes her $4 million to the tune of nearly $4 million, $3.4 million judgment. And so Tehachapi, on every platform, every way she can explain herself and make some money, try to buy her way out of this. I think she's going to go bankrupt. I think that's probably her next route. But somebody just came in with a like. I appreciate the like. Somebody's looking at me. Somebody's under the sound of my voice. I appreciate that. Whoever you are, you see my various ways to give me money. I already gave my advertisers a little bit of time now. Now it's time for me. It's all about me. It's all about my show. If you want your own show, get it. You can do the same thing. But yeah. So Tory Lanez as well. Tory Lanez, he filed for It says this in October, an appeal filed by the Canadian singer was turned down. More recently, he asked a judge to vacate his sentence after his bodyguard recently made a statement that he didn't see who fired the gun. So, I mean, this is just goofy. Why they're going back and forth over something that just happened, that didn't just happen. It occurred 4 years ago, over 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And that's what's so, devastating. That's why I think this is so, terrible. Is that they still are going at Megan Thee Stallion is still going over it. Her friend is probably still, rehashing different events, saying she held the pistol or the handgun or whatever the case may have been. It's just goofy. It's just really goofy, the whole situation. R. Kelly and Tory Lanez. So they get to these parts. Power is not itself corruptible. It's not exactly a evil thing. You have power. That means that you have some intellectual, some financial, some societal, cultural grasp in a major way. That's all that means. And for someone to recognize your power, that's good too. And you can reciprocate. You say thank you and appreciate it. But like the cliche says, you get drunk on power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's like it's not really the power. It's the lack of control. It's the lack of understanding. It's a lack of a clear comprehension of the power you yield. I mean, this goes back to Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. I mean, that's just a part of the game. It's just a fact. We have to recognize that as the truth, as something that is real, and not let that get at our mind state. I think that it is very special that we have these cases like Tory Lanez and R. Kelly, because it seems to me they almost do it on purpose. Pause. Excuse me, because they know what they're doing, and I don't want to say, like I said, drunk on power. I don't want to say that. I'm resisting that notion, that statement. I'm resisting saying that because it's too easy. Oh, they got drunk on power. Oh, no, they were stupid. They didn't think. They didn't comprehend. They didn't process what it really meant. That's the facts. That's truth. That's reality. So when you have so many people that were pulling for them, or down, definitely put supporters on their side, they crumbled. They fell. They were weak, not in flesh but in spirit. And I don't mean that mystically. I mean that in their mind and their thoughts and their thinking capacity. They were not giving themselves enough credit to be men. They were acting as overgrown adolescents and males, and not really understanding the facts of what it means to be a man. And that's the sad part. That's the really sad part about all of this. So it's goofy. It's weird. It just like I said, it's a weird situation. I mean, the way they depict it in prison and movies in Hollywood, I'm thinking about like the Goodfellas. Remember Goodfellas? And it's in the book, I'm sure too. Henry Hill, the good guy, the Goodfellas, the Goombas, eating the gabagool and all that. They had the sliced, onion, thinly sliced. They had the salami. They were cooking up food and everything in the prison. Like it was like a field day. Like it was like a holiday. It wasn't the same for people that were got knocked and were part of our gang or the Cosa Nostra. It's a different kind of way of looking at things. I'm gonna need that extra like. Hit that like button. Make sure you get. I see 2 people. Make sure you get that like button. Don't forget that like button. Need that double like. But yeah, so it's amazing to me. It really is. It really is an amazement. It is a powerful statement to say, I'm locked up behind bars. I'm walking dogs. I'm doing yoga. I'm playing PS5. I don't know if they're playing PS5. They may be or maybe not playing PS5. That might be an overstep, But I wouldn't put it past them. I'm sure somewhere there are hundreds, if not thousands, of jails and prisons, or tens of of different prisons, around this country. We have the largest population of inmates currently in prison and behind bars and the wall. So that is something to take to heart. It's just the fact that R. Kelly and Tory Lanez can have the best breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the whole world. They can have the best heating and cooling systems. They can have the best educational programs. You can get a degree in college and jail, in prison. I think Guy Fisher. I think he has a PhD. He'll be in prison for the rest of his life. I think because of drug dealing. Let me make 100% sure. Guy Fisher. He was the first black man to own and operate the Apollo Theater. He was actually released. He was released on October 28th, 2020. I'm glad I went to this site, went to Wikipedia. Because originally it was life in prison without possibility of parole. But I guess he got sick. I don't know if he got COVID or anything, but he was definitely that. And guess who was the prosecutor in the case? Guess who? America's former mayor, Rudolph Giuliani. And look where he is now, in a pool full of shit. So that's the story of Guy Fisher. He's 76 years old. He has some kind of medical issue. He has some kind of ailment that he has to muster through. But hey, look at that. Life imprisonment for drug dealing. I'm talking about that stupid stuff too. That's just stupid. You have to have something like Tory Lanez or R. Kelly. Assault with a weapon, or discharging a weapon and wounding someone, and being convicted of sexual and deviancy and racketeering and different things of that nature. That's proper, not drug dealing. That's the reason why our prisons swell, because there's so many different drug offenses. We already talked about this a long time ago. I want to stay on the topic. I want to stay on my dean, as they say, and wrap it up, because I want to get to this situation too. It doesn't matter if you got steak tartare, lobster, if you've got caviar, all that in prison, you're still in prison, and that's a fact. You can't change that until you appeal or you get some kind of a medical release or some kind of issue like that. It's still prison. All right, let's get off of that kind of gloomy subject and weird and just it's goofy too situation. I want to talk about Chinese people purposefully getting their hair unstraightened, getting it curly, like foundational Black Americans and also Africans and people of African descent, of a darker hue. I don't know how to explain it. Colored, Negro, nigger. I don't know. Whatever the case may be. African American, some Caribbean American, Caribbean, Mediterranean. I don't know. There's so many different ways you can talk about it. It goes on and on. But Chinese people are literally, I saw on Instagram, they're getting their hair like the reverse of a perm. They're getting their hair like knotted and like little curls, and they want to grow afros. You know what I say to this? More power to them. Because if I see another woman, Black woman, the long nails and the hair pushed back like this, she's going into the store, grabbing her with her purse out like this, she's got that blonde hair, that Shaka blonde hair, and you're like, okay. And there's so many people like Beyonce and other people that wear blonde wigs or weaves or different things like that, or even dye their hair blonde. You gotta look at the roots. Look at the roots. It's not just a miniseries in the band, The Roots, but Chinese people. I saw Chinese people. I don't know if it's just Chinese. It specifically said Chinese people, but I think all yellow people are Koreans, Japanese, Vietnamese. Anyone with yellow skin, are, engaged in this process. And I say go for it. Because it's after the FBA. It's after the foundational Black Americans, they are the shit. They are the ones that govern and control genre and different styles and language and everything like that. They just don't own shit. They don't own a goddamn thing. They don't own city blocks and different buildings and annuities and stocks and bonds or anything like that. But they have this coolness about them. They have this way, that this je ne sais quoi, this thing you can't really explain, but it's evident. Everybody's known about it for years. What are the blacks doing in America? How are they getting along? What is it? And then you have the athletes, and you have the actresses and the actors and the musicians that go all over the world, and their music and their movies and their talents, and they're extraordinary, and they go all over the planet. That's wonderful. And so for the Chinese, it says on my Instagram. I look it up. I'm gonna make sure, make 100% sure it said Chinese. I was like, wow, this is crazy. It was wild. I was just like, what? It's crazy. Hold on. See. I'm still looking. Oh, here we go. Chinese people are now turning their hair to African hair. So they're saying African, but I see it right now. The guy's got when it's curly, it looks like a curly fro. He's Chinese. Go for it. Do it. You see women with red hair, like sexy red and stuff like that. That's all you can. That's all you know. That's all you can see. That's all you can relate to. People with blue hair, purple hair, green hair. That's not natural. Okay, so make it natural. Make it artificial. Let it go through a process. These Chinese people, they respect the culture. They respect the idealism of African people. I don't think, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're not, trying to be cultural appropriators. I mean, that's too easy, I think, to say, oh, they're cultural appropriators. They just want to be like black people. They can't be like black people. Oh my God, I can't believe this is terrible. No, that's stupid. Even some men like Drewski, he's got blonde hair. Pharrell Williams got blonde hair. The artist formerly known as Ye, or as Kanye West, Ye, he had blonde hair for a period of time. What is that saying? What are you saying? Blonde hair is the best hair? Mostly white people, and this is not the fact. This is not a fact that white people were the originators of blonde hair. Africa, go back to Africa. Go back to Africa, and you'll see that there were tribes of people with vitiligo, with blue eyes and green eyes and blonde hair in different tribes. That's a fact. Look that shit up. Look it up. So when you realize how many people in the Chinese nationality in the Chinese nation, they want to be black, and that's cool. That should be good. Like Rachel Dolezal. Rachel Dolezal wanted to be black, and she became to be black. Then they had the jokes, all right, good luck on that credit report. Good luck on how many strikes you gonna get before you go to prison. How many they had jokes for that. That's how you want to be black. All right, sure. See how many child support payments you gonna miss You know, I'm sure she's with somebody. I'm saying all the jokes. But she wanted to be black, and she became black. She's a little white girl. You should see her in the picture. She was just a little white girl with freckles on her face. Then I guess she went to some tanning salon. She kinked out her, I don't say kink. She curled her hair. Her hair is looking curly, and she looks like she's a light skinned Negro. Like you would never, look twice. You say you wouldn't even do that. You wouldn't even need to do that. You just, have an understanding that she is a black person, an African American. But like the late great Paul Mooney said, he said, "We the shit." Like I'll say they are the shit. I'm a foundational Black American, but I'll say that only in the context of a racist situation being brought against me. What do I mean by that? What are we saying, Skylar? We're saying that if somebody caused me to be held back financially, statistically, in some serious manner, not just somebody calling me, "Oh, you nigger." That's not racism. That's not even close to racism. Somebody blocking you, where you live and what society you can have and for government, that's racism. Stopping me from going to a government establishment, that's racism. So that's the only reason why I don't call myself an FBA in all circumstances, just in racial situations. Now, like I was saying, it wasn't even a thing to say FBA or Foundational Black American, back when the late great Paul Mooney was alive. But in one of his specials, he's just like, "Black people are the shit. We're the shit." That's what he said. Everybody wants to talk like this. Everybody wants to walk like us. Everyone wants to be us. That's what he was saying. I'm not saying the us on myself. I'm saying what he said. And to some greater extent, that is true. Black people, especially in American, the American, the foundational Black American, has revolutionized the way the world sees Black people all over the world. I mean, you can see people in Africa in different countries like Kenya and Nigeria and, oh my God, Chad or Mali or all these different places, and it's like it's a totally different sense. It's a totally different sensibility to understand the differences that go on with being in the foundational Black American culture. It's just amazing. It's completely uplifting. I think it's uplifting. It's definitely an uplifting thing to see that because of the history of the foundational Black American. I talked about this before. Whoever just came in, let me get that. Oh, who is Baja Jackson? Happy holidays. We win in 2024. That's right. That's right. It's still Merry Christmas. This is the second day of Christmas. Glad you're in here, Baja Jackson. Thank you for coming through. You're the first and only so far person that I know I am talking to somebody else. I appreciate that. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Don't discourage the likes. But yeah, Chinese people, it says, are now turning their hair to African hair, and they got the little questioning, like wondering emoji. Thank you for the second. Hey, first day of Kwanzaa. That's right. First day of Kwanzaa. Hold on. Give me a second. I can do this. Give me one good second. I can do this. Oh, come on. Oh my God. All right, here we go. I'm looking for something real quick. Yeah, Kwanzaa's first fruit. Okay, today first day is emoja, meaning unity, which represents striving for and maintaining unity in the family, community, nation, and race. First day of Kwanzaa, exactly. Do you celebrate Kwanzaa, Baha Jackson? I don't really uh, observe it, but I respect it. I respect the economic side of it, especially. I don't really, get into the mysticism or the collectivism side of it, but the economics of it is pretty sound. But what I was saying, yeah, we could have Chinese people celebrating Kwanzaa. Why not? Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate the. Oh, see now, I gotta say this. I didn't even do it. I didn't even do it. It was so we got $10 raised, $150 to go. Let's see if I can get that much. Let's get it. You are a scholar and a gentleman, sir. Observe and respect it. Yeah, okay. That's cool and good to go. I'm glad there are people that definitely do it. I'm sincere. I'm not kidding. Uh, Respect. Heights coming through. People coming through now. People waking up at at noon. Y'all getting up at noon. Y'all had that Christmas hangover. You had too many eggnogs with all that rum in it. No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that, Baja Jackson. I appreciate it. Yeah, so Chinese people with the hair. I mean, what do you guys I know what I think. I just want to see if I could get enlightened from somebody else's perspective. I think it's a good idea. I think it's wonderful. I think Chinese people trying to be black, trying to be African, I don't think they're appropriating the culture. I just think that they're respecting and trying to be cool and trying to be flashy and jiggy like foundational Black Americans, and even there's a sense that the Afro, or what is known as the Afro, you know, it it constitutes intelligence in a sense. I'm just saying, it's weird. Same thing with locks. Locks, since have a sense of intelligence. I'm thinking about Toni Moore, the late great Toni Morrison. She had locks. um Cornell West has an afro. From what I understand, he still has an afro. These intellectual people that are in the American spotlight. They had different hairstyles that were mainly for the African descent, or people of African descent. So if Chinese want to do you know 360 waves and get locks and stuff like that, more power to them. I say go ahead, do that, do your thing, do your thing, do your thing. I say, keep it going, keep that going. I appreciate that. Like I said with Rachel Dolezal, she wanted to be. She's transracial. She turned into a black person. Now, there's a lot to unpack in that, and it's kind of strange and weird in a lot of ways. But I applaud her. I really do, because it's not like she's like saying I'm white or I'm a black person and I'm white and I have to like bleach my skin and I have to straighten my hair and I have to get blue eyes and I look like I'm a flame or something like that and I'm dark skinned or something like that. You're beautiful as you are, but I love dark skinned women, dark skinned petite women. That's me. White women, blue eyes, long brown or blonde hair. Hispanic women, curvy, green eyes or brown eyes, long hair, it's beautiful to me. That's beautiful. And even light skinned chicks. I like light skinned chicks too. Um, but yeah, I don't see a problem with it. I don't see an issue. I don't think there is really an issue with the fact that Chinese people want to change their hairstyles to be like more like black people. I don't see a problem. I don't see any issue with that. Okay. I want to talk about yesterday. Yesterday was a great day for me. Like I said, I've been full of the holiday spirit ever since I met up with my brother this past week. I'm trying to see what that. I don't know what that height. You gotta tell me what that emoji is. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Height. Height. 300. Omaha. Height. Oh yeah, the chef kiss him. Okay, I see it now. I see it. Okay, very good. Yeah. All the women in my life that I've dated and had, some kind of relationship with. Yeah, I was chef. Yeah, yeah. I was just making sure. I couldn't make it out. I'm not good at. I'm like I said. I'm terrible at emojis. Terrible emojis. I'm horrible. The only emojis I get are salutes, thumbs ups, and that's about it. And oh yeah, the praise and the money, tongue, and all that. It's cool. But I want to talk about yesterday. Yesterday was an experiment, and it worked beautifully. None of the adults that I know of, got gift cards. Maybe my stepmom. My stepmom, I think, got a gift card because there's a tradition they have with my stepbrother and his husband. They come down. They're really cool guys. They're cool. It's my step brother and my my brother-in-law, and they are not gay. They're just stepbrother and brother-in-law who happen to be gay. That's how I see it. That's how Mr. Troy Star Terrain sees it. That's how I understand it. Because it's true. They have, their own lives. I'm sure they have their private lives and do their own thing. But you would never know, if whatever, they're not trying to be, effeminate, or even if they were effeminate, that's okay. There's nothing wrong being effeminate. But they're just, their own person, and they're really great guys. They're whip smart. They have great careers. I'm sure that they really love each other, and you got to respect that. I like that fact. It's their part. It's just part of their life, and they came down. We had a great meal, Italian meal. My dad made it as usual. My stepmom never cooks. The only thing she cooked was the holiday ham that we shared with my stepbrother, and her and myself, which was excellent. Great holiday ham. Excellent ham. Great ham. But my dad made baked ziti, and it's awesome. My dad makes the greatest concoctions. I don't know how. I'm not gonna go that route. I don't think. My dad is, gifted beyond measure in a lot of ways, and especially in the kitchen. He'll make up anything. He'll make up a turkey, a ziti, Cornish game hens. He used to make steaks. He used to make country ribs. He'll make anything and everything, and it's to the point of you almost want to slap somebody. It's so tasty. But I have to say, the Christmas spirit was definitely in me. None of the adults shared anything. I shared with the toys with my niece. My nephew was asleep, and he's only 1 year old. So he wouldn't have been that responsive anyway. But my niece was like really happy at the gifts I gave her. That warmed my heart, not my heart literally, because I'm just saying it as an expression. I have to always give a disclaimer. It warmed my mind. It warmed my spirit, warmed my soul. To have her, take in the little dolls I gave her, and the little Sesame Street figurines that I gifted to her. So it was just a wonderful experience. It was just a wonderful experience to have her, enjoy holiday. And she's like jumping up and down. She's like, and she's all happy and everything. That is Christmas to me. Cause it's like when it's adults, it's like, and we're just family, not just like couples and a few of that, and we're just family. And it's like Here's a gift card. Here's a gift card. All right, you give me this, you give me that. It's the same thing over and over every year. So we broke it up. No adults got any gifts. All the littles got gifts. I got my little nephew a Hess truck. I want him to play with it because I already got one upstairs that's in the box, in a box. Okay, it's in a packaging box and in its own box. So I don't have to worry about him ever, being without a Hess truck anytime in the year. I'm gonna make sure I give him a Hess truck at least until he's 30. That's what I plan. I plan on doing. I want to make sure he gets definitely gets a Hess truck every year from his uncle Skylar. So he remembered. He's like, oh man, my uncle Skylar, he used to always give me a Hess truck every year. Just that's just a selfish, way of looking at myself. That's how healthy and selfish I am. In that regard. I just enjoyed the fact that there were so many presents under my sister's tree at her house. We came over to her house. They were just they got bikes, they got all kinds of dinosaurs and stuff like that. I was like, golly, I'm trying not to cuss, around, sentences, for kids and stuff like that. But I was just like, goodness gracious, this was a Christmas. This was a good haul. They should be proud. They should be playing with their toys all, for the rest of the week and the rest of the days. But yeah, so it's definitely something that I look forward to even next year, because that's the thing with this, Christmas and all the holidays and stuff. You think you're gonna be prepared for them, but you're like, maybe not. I'm not gonna probably get that much, in. But they're such a great expression of joy and happiness amongst all the evil and ugliness of this world, the multiple wars, the rape and famine and ugliness and just terrible, awful stuff. But there's merriment and there's goodwill towards men, and maybe there's going to be no more wars. That's what I like about saying that. I say no, there should be no more wars. Of course, there could be, but there shouldn't be. That's better than saying there's rumors of wars and there's rumors, there's wars and rumors of wars. We could say there shouldn't be wars. How about that? Not to say, I'm not that optimistic to say that there's not going to be any more wars. There's most likely going to be a war sometime, but there shouldn't be. The same thing with, just, mass shootings and muggings and robberies and killings of anyone, serial killers, all that. All that's going to, recede one day when we have a completely objectivist, society. But it's not going to be, completely 100% perfect. I'm not going to be that optimistic. There's going to be one thing, like I said, with like the dictators, the whack-a-mole, the dictatorships that go up and go down and go up and go down. I see 4 people in here. I want to see 4 likes. I got 3 likes so far. If you just came into the room, make sure you drop down that fourth like. I appreciate it. Thank you. But it's such a joy that we can even have this opportunity to thank you for the 4th like. Thank you. But it's such an opportunity for us to even come together and have these different holidays, knowing that there are millions, if not billions, of people suffering and dying, living only a few seconds and then dying in places like Africa and Asia and South America. And I got 2 people viewing and 5 likes. All right. That's interesting. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You came in and dropped a like and got out. All right. And another person dropped out. But yeah, so that it all rests on, our own power of the mind. It rests on our own outlook on things. We have Christmas, we have Kwanzaa, we have Hanukkah, we have all these different celebrations and different occasions and observances. We have to have a clear cut view of who we are and what we're about. That's the key to it. That's the diploma or the degree that we receive after we've earned our place in this world as peaceful human beings, as respectable human beings. That's what we have to place on ourselves. I loved yesterday. Yesterday was great. I love Christmas. I love the whole idea of Christmas. Christmas means that there's something better. You know, it's cold in most regions of the world now. It's dark, but you know, you have all these strings of light. You have all these different carolers. You have all these different songs. I think there's thousands of Christmas songs now. I used to say there's tens or hundreds, but I think there's 1,000 Christmas songs at least. um, People really love the fact that, you know, you're able to um, get in and, you know, have meals and exchange presents and gifts, even though we didn't as adults. I I still think that it's a special kind of idea behind it. It definitely is a good thing because, I mean, it's a great thing, but I'm saying it's a good thing because of morality, because you know we just have the opportunities. It boggles my mind when I think of people like that are Christians. You know, I was once a Christian, so I'm not too, you know, far removed. Um, but it just boggles my mind to think that they can compartmentalize and, you know, use different excuses and say, oh well, we're just, you know, it's just for fun. You know, we're just having fun. We're just having a good time. You know, we know Jesus died on the cross for us. That's later on. That's next year. That's in Easter. And that's what's weird too. Easter comes before Christmas in the calendar year. Like, that's what's so goofy, I guess. It's like Christmas should, I mean, the Christian Christmas, not the atheist Christmas, but the Christian Christmas should start in spring. That's when Jesus was born, in the springtime. So it's very goofy. People, you know, it goes back to, you know, Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby, you know, and the baby Jesus, you know. People, you know, praise the baby Jesus and everything. Sweet baby Jesus, you know. It's just silly stuff like that. But um there's a definite connection, you know, between, you know, Christmas and all the other holidays. You know, it gives it clarity and it gives it meaning. It gives it an understanding of what is to possibly come. You know, because a lot of people say Jesus is coming back. Well, he already came back. He's going to make his third appearance. He allegedly, you know, this is according to the scriptures, to the ancient scrolls. He was born, he died, he went to heaven, then he came back to show his disciples, then he went back to heaven. So this will be his third appearance on the earth, not his second appearance. Just to clear that up, just in case you were wondering. Um, so taking that all into account, I think we should, you know, definitely have a greater understanding. Like they said, the war on Christmas, the war on Christmas. There's people that don't want Christmas anymore. I love Christmas because it's like the Wizard of Oz. It's just like the Wizard of Oz. You know, the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow already had brains. He already had thought. He already had a plan for most of the things. The Tin Man, he had emotion and could feel for Dorothy. And the scare and the Cowardly Lion showed bravery and valor. He already had all those things. So they don't need any trinkets that the wizard gives them. He gives a diploma to the scarecrow, a heart to a ticking heart clock to the Tin Man, and a badge of courage to the lion. Maybe that was the closest one he could possibly do. But it's like they know that it's the reality. They want to put on the trinkets of irrationality and non-truth. They want to put on the trinkets of things that aren't real, that aren't factual. And the I've said this before, the Bible itself is a instrument of irrationality. But it's not even that. It's not even just an instrument of irrationality. It's a detriment to mental health. It's a detriment to mental health. That's basically what it is. It goes against the mind. It goes against your thought because you know this is true, and then you're told one other thing that it's not true, and you're just like, where do I go with this? Where are we going? What's happening? What's happening? What's occurring? And you're not even sure. You're not even, complete with your execution of various texts. So you have to have that understanding. You gotta have that thought process that says that you're gonna, be more attuned to the facts as opposed to believing in mysticism and folklore and what myths. They're myths. We don't say Greeks and Romans, they're gods. We turn them into months and days of the weeks and space missions and different companies and stuff like that. Why not Jesus? Why not Jesus 1? Why can't we have a space program all about Jesus 1? Going to the moon or going to Mars. That would be amazing. I would love that. Muhammad 1, something like that. Moses 1, something like that. That I think would revolutionize the game because those are the chief faiths that are still in existence that people don't trample on. They take very seriously. Like the Muslims take Islam very seriously. You draw Muhammad, it's off with your head. We're gonna have machine guns and shoot you up at your place of work. That's the barbarism that all of them have explored. Judaism, Christianity, the Inquisition, the Reformation, the Crusades, all of that is tied up into irrationality. But I digress. I want to talk about how happy I am about Christmas. Christmas is so beautiful. It is such a wonderful time period. It's not my favorite album, like Troy Starks Reigns, but I like Snowflakes. I like that. It gets me in the mood. Christmas in Jamaica with Shaggy. Just set it on. Set it on. Christmas in Jamaica. Come on, girl. That's the song though. That's the track. That's hot. But I think my favorite holiday album or Christmas album would be Sounds of Blackness, one of their Christmas CDs. It's just great. I enjoy it thoroughly. But I have to say that I thoroughly enjoyed myself yesterday. Woke up, everything was good. Went whole day. Nobody argued. Nobody, went back and forth. I know at least one or two tables out of the billions of people in this country, not this country, this world, are and the millions of people that celebrate Christmas, I'm sure they had a fight over Genocide Joe. I almost got into it with my sister. I didn't want to get into it though. I don't want to get into it on Christmas, and I'm not going to get into it, even on any other day. I don't want to argue with her. But she's like, Genocide Joe. I'm just like, oh, he's terrible president, but he's not a genocidal president. It's like it's just disturbing. But I see that I don't have a lot of people going through the viewership, so I appreciate everybody that came through. I thank you, Baja Jackson, and I thank you, Height. Those are only the two that came through in the top chat. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate you. I appreciate the 5 likes, and I will see you either tomorrow or later on tonight. I don't know, maybe later tonight or and definitely tomorrow. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas, Part 2.